Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and now we're going to be talking about the Pro Division of the North Shore Tournament. Of course, this is going to be the qualifying round, shot a -15. So, ultimately it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any of these par threes to drop, but, I left a couple of them right at pin, and I think you're going to be able to get those minor tweaks needed to get some of these bad boys to go into the hole for you. Hey, if you're not a subscriber, please become one. I appreciate all the new subscribers last week that helped me get to 4,000, and I appreciate everybody before the 4,000 who's been promoting the channel and spreading it to your clans and Facebook and all that good stuff. Please take a moment there to hit the thumbs up button if you like my content, and we're going to go ahead and go right into hole number one. So hole number one, I do play the right side on this hole. I always play the right side. I think it's the best way to pick up, the eagle. I like to take the shot with my thorn, overtaking the rough bump, with the Goliath. So from here, you'll kind of see, we just adjust the top spin. We aim over that sand bunker. And you can use a little bit overpower if you need it. It's not going to be necessary for everybody, but you can see here 1 hop, 2 hop, and we come in really nicely. We don't really need to push this at all. We just want to make sure that we hit perfect and get onto the top part of the fairway, which we do. And that'll leave us at a mid-distance shot for the eagle. Here you're going to see that I go with the backspin. I do go 2.5 back. And always remember, when you're using the thorn and backspin, you really need to put the ball guideline through the hole like I have here. Here we make our adjustment, 10% at mid-distance. I feel like today on Pro, the needle is definitely vibrating a lot. It's not standing still too much. You're going to see a couple of these if you really pay attention to the pull angles and the needle. It really seems to be flickering quite a bit. Here, we just leave it on the right-hand side of the cup. So what do you need to do differently? Well, you could change the elevation to 5% if you wanted, or you could go ahead and offset this one inside the cup, but just the left-hand side. I'll leave it up to you on what you want to do. I will be playing a pro walkthrough tomorrow live in the morning, so we'll come in and see if we can get some of these shots to drop that I missed today. Okay, hole number two, we're going to play at 10% at max. We're going to play with our extra mile. I like to go 1 bar left side spin here, combined with 5 bars of top spin. Because we're getting headwind, we're going to back our target up after we have our spin adjustments. The reason that I do it after the spin adjustments is just because I like to have the visual of the ball guideline on the fairway there. So as you can see, I back it up to the +8. I should have backed it up a few more yards because when I go to pull my rings, I do pull in the overpower, which you can see right there, about 1 ring. So therefore, I'm going to use just a little bit of overpower. Now, I'm not using a lot, just barely. Again, you don't want to go crazy with the overpower on this hole because we really need to hit a perfect ball. You can see the fairway gets really narrow here. So a great right or a great left could put us in a lot of trouble. Now, that'll leave us for shot number two. Shot number two, I want you to try this one 10% at max, okay? I'm not 100% sure remembering what I played my adjustment on, but I do remember after taking a look at the shot and messing with the calculator, a 10% at max would have been a better pool to leave us for a very good albatross opportunity. Hopefully this is the tougher wind angle, so hopefully we're getting this one out of the way in qualifying when we have 3 chances at it with Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with this flicker of headwind. But still, even here, a very, very good opportunity to get this one in the hole. As you can see, I over-adjusted by a little bit, so that means, I probably played it at 20%. All right, hole number 3. This one's a little bit strange. I had to reference back to some tournaments in the past, but here we're going to go with 1 bar of right side spin and a little bit more than 3 bars of backspin. And what's going to happen here is the ball guideline is always weird on this hole, okay? Especially in the tailwind, which you're going to see. But let's take a look at where we're at here. So after the spin, you need to find your landing spot. So keep in mind, this is everything after the spin. And then, where am I at here? I zoom in to kind of show you where I'm at. So notice the end of my ball guideline is in that light green square, almost in the, almost in the corner of the bottom light green square. Not quite the corner, but almost. I guess if you really want a better reference, if you take a look at where my ball guideline goes flat, the very end of my ball guideline here, that last part after the last bounce, is basically splitting that darker green square in half. Hopefully that makes sense to you, or you can see it good. But the end of my ball guideline is cutting that dark green square in half, significantly here on the right-hand side of the hole. But again, look at the needle. It's really vibrating. Perfect ball. And we really come close to getting this one to drop in. So my advice to you would be to offset that one just a little bit more, okay? Just a little bit more to the right-hand side, and we should be looking really good at a hole-in-one opportunity on that par 3. This will take us into hole number 4. Hole number 4, we're going to use an APOC here. APOC 5 is fine. Extra miles are fine. What we're really trying to do is just get to the green. The key with this hole is always to use your most powerful club combined with the berserker. We're going to go full top, 2 bars of side spin to the left, and I'm aiming in between the bunkers. So after we make our pull here, we do push back up to max because we need everything that we can get on this hole. Now, I will warn you though, if you get winds over 7.5 miles per hour, so take a note of that. If your wind is over 7.5, you do not need to go with full overpower. Here with only 6 miles an hour, we will be going full overpower with a little bit of curl to the right. So, I'm sorry, to the left. About half a ball of curl to the left. Perfect ball. Always hard to hit in full OP, but we do get it. We bounce through, and this is all that we're looking for to get us in for a very nice eagle. The thing that I would say about this hole, even if you're playing pro with lower level clubs, this is a low risk drive, a very high reward. And what I mean by that is you're not going to par this hole, okay? So even if you don't make it onto the green or the fringe or the fairway, even if you get stuck in the rough or the sand, you're still going to have a chip-in opportunity to get yourself an eagle. And that's the way that we play this hole in tailwind. Again, it's a low-risk drive. Yeah, you got to go full OP. Yeah, you got to put a little bit of curl on it. But even if you screw up, you're still picking up the birdie at a worst-case scenario, okay? That'll take us in here to hole number 5. Hole number 5, we're using another berserker. We're going to try to get up here to the second fairway. Full top, couple bars of side spin to the left, and you're kind of going to see here how I approach this. Pretty much going full overpower, not quite, but almost. This drive is not the easiest drive to pull off. You can see there, I barely made it to the first part of the fairway, and I rolled through the rough very nicely, leaving us for a very good opportunity for an albatross. That is not going to be an easy shot for everybody to pull off, but it's definitely there, and I think it is the way to play this hole in tailwind. Now, here is the weirdest thing. I was fully expecting to take this shot with my sniper, right? The shot you're going to see, I'm playing at 10% elevation. So some of you may be playing this with a grizzly. Some of you may be playing this with a sniper. Either way, I want you to try to play it at 5%. Here's why. You're going to see I do pull this one 10%. So we need to take a little bit of the elevation off. If we take a little bit of the elevation off, we will be in the hole for an albatross. Or I would have been on this particular shot, I should say. I do back my target up to more so that my yellow ring is more in the rough like that, as you can see. That's a really good visual right there of how I'm aiming. And then I got the ball guideline going through the pin. But here, you know, we do pull this one 10 rings. That's a full 10 ring pull. If I'd have played this one at 5%, we'd have been playing more like, you know, 9.7 or so. Hold on a second here. I need to pull more. I'm crazy. Wow, okay. So I hope everybody listens. I want you to try to pull this one 15%. That is my bad. Pull this one 15%. I needed to pull more rings. I totally misread what happened there when I watched the replay before I got ready for this. So that's my apologies. We do need more of a ring pull, so I want you to try 15%. My bad. All right. This was a really strange hole. I wasted a couple practice tokens on my other account trying to get this one to drop since I was off to a good start with this account. But here we're going to go 1.5 bars of right side spin. And I don't want to mess with that at all because I think the spin is good. 1.5 back, 1.5 right. I'm sorry, 1.8 back, 1.5 right. Really 1.9, 1.8, 1.9. But here, you know, I kept having to move my offset. And you'll see, I've got the ball guideline aiming right side of the pin. I'm not touching the hole. It is aimed to the right-hand side. I've got the yellow ring on the top of the rough. We're pulling this one 40% at max. It's a very, very, very high ring pull. Now, this is Tommy's shot. This was sent to me by a couple people today. Which is why I wasted a couple practice tokens on it. But even with wasting a couple practice tokens and wasting a couple kingmakers, you know, I still, oddly enough, could not get this one to drop. So we need to offset even more to the right-hand side. Now, of course, on one of my practice shots, I did a much heavier offset to the right, and I missed it to the right. So I really thought that one right there was going to be good, but we got to move it over a shade. And also another thing with this shot is, I want you to notice when I go to actually take the shot, notice I'm using a little bit of overpower. So Tommy mentions that in his video. A little bit of overpower, just like that, and then perfect ball, and we come really close, okay? So credit goes to Tommy for that shot. I couldn't get it to drop like him, and thank you to the couple people who sent it to me because they did drop it, so they thought that I would be able to get it as well. So I appreciate that. All right, so let's go here. We're going to be doing a no moving target shot. Pretty much how we always approach this hole. Half a ball of curl to the left. Perfect ball. This is going to leave us for a really nice opportunity for shot number 2 to drop yet another eagle. Now, the thing about this one is I'll play it 2 different ways, or I'll show you how to play it 2 different ways, okay? And you're going to see the graphic, and I'll pause it. So, for you that are technical that like to use the slider, okay, I'm trying to get a little bit more involved in slider with pro before I start to move on to expert and create content. Still probably a few months away, but I figured I would start to ease some of my viewer base into using the sliders. So, if you write down my yard mark from my last drive, shot number 2 can be played 2 ways. It can be played 20% at mid, or if you want to be very technical and very precise, you can play at 10%, which is the true elevation of this hole, at a 60% slider, okay? Both shots are going to be the same ring pull, just 2 different numbers to play with. So you just depend on your playing style and see what works out for you. Perfect ball, you know, that's always the big part to everything. But you can see here, this ball comes in very nicely for the eagle, taking us on to the next hole. This hole, I don't have a lot here for you. You know, I tried to work this one out as well in practice since, you know, we're only going to be playing with the navigator. I mean, I even referenced to videos in past tournaments. This one, I guess, has always just seemed to be tough for me. But I'm playing at 30% elevation. You can see here I'm using a slight offset. So ball guideline, 1 green square short of the hole, about half a ball right square to the right of the pin. You know, I'm making a 30% pull here. It's just, here's the thing when you use a navigator on pro, okay? It's just the wind is going to be very different from person to person. You know, I'm getting 5.2. You might hop on here and get a 7.5. So there's going to be a lot of variance when it comes to the wind. You know, but here, I mean, believe it or not, that was the closest ball that I had, even with using the 2 balls in practice. So you're going to have to tweak that one a little bit. I would keep the spin adjustments the same. You know, take a practice token 2 or 3 with some navigators there and see if you can get that one dialed in. You're going to have a lot of people struggle on that one to get a hole-in-one. So if you can pick it up, that'll get you an extra drop for qualifying. Okay. Hole number 9, we've albaed this in the past, and we albaed it again. I don't consider this an easy albatross at all, but I always consider it a possibility, even in headwind. We're going to go with a rock. We're going to go with full top, and then 3 bars of side spin to the right. I do have a rock 8. I understand that some people might have a lower level rock. There's not a lot of difference in top spin to my knowledge. So really, we're just going to go with max top, max right, okay? Orange ring right there on the rough line. Ball guide line going to and through the rough. But of course, we are going to be using right curl, okay? Right curl to counter that the way we go. And then I'll kind of show you here. That's what our curl needs to look like. So we got the ball right there just outside the adjustment window. Perfect ball. And we go for 345. So 345 leaves us at an absolute max distance shot. I even have to back my target up a little bit here and apply some top spin just to make sure I'm able to 100% pull my rings accurately. But I do get the ball guideline. See how the ball guideline's a little bit wonky here? So you got to just kind of move your target around until the ball guideline is consistent like that. See how it goes from way through the pin? I move it just slightly. Now it's just showing barely through the pin, which is good. Here we make our ring pull. Hey, again, I hope you found this helpful. Please take a moment there to hit the thumbs up. It really does help us. I mean, it takes you a millisecond before you leave the video. And again, if you're somebody who watches me who's not a subscriber yet, I hope I've done a good job and I've earned that subscribe button. Please hit it. Please hit the thumbs up. Let's go. Albatross, very nice. Wrapping up pro. I will see you tomorrow for a live pro walkthrough. Thanks, everybody.